Alright guys, welcome to the first session of the discussing the metagame segment I kind of discussed in my maiden voyage video. If you haven't figured it out yet, this is BLS for game. You can see my name somewhere. There we go, right there. You can read it out loud. It's not Martin Mafia, it is BLS for game. And this is the first session of what I hope to be very many. The point of this segment is basically to discuss an aspect of the game and just generally, like I said, discuss it. I really couldn't explain it any better than that. Today's discussion, as you might have noticed from the title, is discussing a card in the side deck. What has become essential, and what is now being phased out to no longer really being needed at all. One card in particular I noticed in testing is because I'm switching decks. I'm very tight on extra deck space and side deck space, so I'm trying to find the perfect balance to what counters the meta and keeps my speed consistent. For those who don't know, I am playing Samurai right now. I used to play Inzectors, but I kind of shifted gears after I got my invite. And my deck does not like to... It does not like certain side deck cards. One of which I am questioning right now is Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon is a 2100 attack light monster that can special summon itself if your opponent controls monsters and you do not. Very old card, very well known, and very powerful. Now, the reason I have Cyber Dragon, or I've had it in my side deck for a while now, is because of the Machina Gadget and the Karakuri matchup, and to some extent the Antimeta matchup. You use Cyber Dragon not just to beat over monsters that aren't machine or just weaker monsters. You use him to go into Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon basically involves Cyber Dragon and any other machine monster on the field. You can send them to the graveyard to special summon Chimera Tech, and it gains attack equal to 1,000 times the number of monsters sent. So automatically it will be a 2,000 attack monster. I actually did win a game with it at my regional. My opponent summoned Malefic Cyber End, and I specialed Cyber Dragon to make Chimera Tech. Now, my opponent was playing Malefic, so that's not a very meta deck, and other than that, I didn't really use this card. So, slowly but surely, I've begun to question, is Cyber Dragon staple anymore? Well, let's look at one aspect of it. The Karakuri matchup isn't as frequent. You really do not see Karakuri, barring a few rogue players actually playing it. If anything, it was more popular when Giant Trune was around because it was so much easier to go off an OTK with that you really could just play the deck and barely even try. Now, if your opponent had Effect Veiler, which most of us are maining now since Priority is gone, different story. But it was still nice to have your Cyber Dragons, because if you couldn't get to Veiler and you survived the turn, you'd special your Cyber Dragon, you suck up all those monsters into a big Chimera Tech, and then you'd probably attack for game or continue the beatdown for game. Heavy Storm came back, Giant Trune was banned. Karakuri hasn't really made any progress. They might have had one or two tops since the September 2011 format, but for the most part, you really don't see them. Machina Gadgets, unless your name's Robbie Cole, you probably don't touch that deck. So, are you keeping this in there for the anti-meta? Is that my justification for keeping a Cyber Dragon in my extra deck? I think not. I think that it's actually okay now not to play Cyber Dragon. Don't get me wrong, the card's good. It's very versatile, and you can definitely use it in matchups where you just need to splash something in because you might be, I don't know, siding in Royal Decree, or you might have to side out a lot of dead cards because your opponent's playing your worst matchup. It's definitely good in that aspect that it's splashable, but there are better cards probably out there right now. If someone were to play Karakuri, I have a lot of space dedicated to Effect Veiler. Not going to say where until I do my deck profile. I like to keep my secrets hidden until I need to show them. So for the most part, I have space dedicated to Karakuri matchups. Anti-meta matchups, I have no problem dealing with. So I think for now it's time to say, Cyber Dragon, it was nice knowing you. You served your purpose well, and maybe someday you'll come back. But for the most part, you are actually being kicked out of my side deck. Now, I invite all of you, all of my viewers, and anybody in the general area to leave a comment down below, or make a video response even, and generally say your opinion about the matter. Is it time to take Cyber Dragon out of the side deck? Is he no longer stable? Leave a comment down below or a video response and let me know what you think. And hopefully this segment goes over well, because I do look forward to doing this again. I do have several other topics planned. Elsewise, guys, I really don't got much else to say. I'm kind of tired. I had my locals today, and I continued building my deck, so I'm going to sign off for the night. So, BLS for game, signing off. Deuces.